everybody, 'tis I. I want to talk about something that might help you guys out there, and it's what happened to me initially after my parental estrangement started, and this was 14 years ago. This is the note I took today, the milk carton kids. I said because children that just disappear, I consider to be milk carton kids, and if you guys are younger and are not sure what this is, it's a child that ends up missing, ends up on the back of a milk carton, and it says, "Have you seen me?" And that's how I felt. It was like a proverbial, I said, we're so desperate, we put up proverbial posters all over the neighborhood. "Have you seen this child? Call me, there's a reward." I spoke to everyone I could. I was so desperate because I still saw my daughters as little girls that what would they do? What if they got hurt? What if they ended up in a ditch? What if they got hurt and no one called me? What if they fell into a coma? All the what ifs ran through my mind. And I failed to realize they were adults. I failed to grasp that I had raised them, that I had done my best, that they had survival skills, they had social skills, and they were of sound mind in order to make it out in this world. So it took a while, a couple of years. I sent my youngest daughter out some gifts for my grandchildren, and all the gifts were returned with a letter that said, "Do not contact us again. We don't want to hear from you." And that's when I decided to stop reaching out. That's when I decided I had to reframe. I said, well, my daughters left when I was 40 years old. So the first 20 years I was raised with my family of origin. Then the next 20 years I raised my daughters, and now I have the rest of my life. So what am I going to do? Am I going to start believing in myself that I was good enough, smart enough, and doggone it, people actually liked me? Was I going to start to believe I had done a good enough job that they could make good decisions on their own out in this world? Or would I have to come to the belief that even if they fell, that they would be able to get up just the same way I did throughout my trials and struggles in life? I had to start believing in myself, and I had to say, they've chosen to disconnect. It's not against the law. If I had done something that hurt them, I truly am sorry about that. I'm sorry that I had failed them in some certain way, simply because I'm human, and my parents, quote unquote, did their best. And I know that there were times I said to myself, but my parents, in my eyes, could have done better. I was raised in a home, mom and dad, 3 sisters. My home life was kind of disconnected and cold, per se. My parents were not maternal or paternal. There was not a lot of hugs, love, and kisses. I don't remember sitting on my mom's lap or being close with her, per se, and my dad not either, because of his upbringing. And so I have to say my parents did their best. And then I joined the military to move out of my house because I didn't really have a path in life I knew I wanted to take. But all I can say is I did my best to raise my children. I did not abuse them. Did I meet all of their needs? Probably not, because at times I couldn't even meet my own. I had them by the time I was 21. I love my girls. I wanted to be a mom. And yet I was working with such limited knowledge on how to raise babies. I knew I had babysat for my cousins. I had been a babysitter for a long time. I had been around babies my entire life, so I knew how to change diapers, and I was maternal. But I'm sure I failed and lacked in many different ways. And so I think we as women, as long as our children were around other people, I was around a whole pizza full of people. I had friends that were able to give my daughters things that I wasn't, and I was able to give my friends' children things they weren't able to give. Even as someone who's 54 now, I am around other children, and I realize I today have the patience of a saint. I love being around kids. I love talking with them, and their parents a lot of times say, "Are you a teacher?" And I say, "No, I just love kids." But now I'm in a different place in my life. I can relax, enjoy, and then they go home. I just love talking to them because it's just a break from the norm of talking to adults. I don't know. It's fun. But there has to come a point in time when they say, you know what? I was in my family of origin, and then I raised you, and now I'm a whole new person. I've been reincarnated, and I'm going to start a brand new life. And you're welcome to come and hang out with me if we're cohesive. But we're going to be nice to one another and say nice things to one another. And if we can't, we shouldn't hang out with each other because it's not good for either one of us. That's all I wanted to say. Your kids are okay. They're out there in this world doing their thing, just like you did your thing, and we got to let them go. So, with that said, I'll be back.